Well, drive along any road in central Illinois and you are bound to see fields of corn. I'm hanging out with Charlie Thompson with Illinois Foundation Seeds. Thanks for having us sponsoring our segment today. So,
my pleasure.
I have to tell you a little story here. My aunt was in town visiting from Orlando. I live in Tolono, have a cornfield in my backyard. She said, "Can we go out there and eat that?" And I'm like, "Ooh, no, you cannot." But here, you actually could.
Yes, here you could. Yeah, that field was probably dent corn or field corn, destined for animal feed or for another processed good.
Yes, but here we're standing in the nursery of your sweet corn field. Tell me a little bit about Illinois Foundation Seeds, kind of what your mission is, your brand, and what you guys do here.
Yeah, we've been in business for 87 years, so it started in 1937. That business has evolved and changed over the years. The vegetable piece of that, sweet corn, beets, and carrots, has had a start since the 60s. And so today we focus mostly, particularly here at this location, on sweet corn.
And you've got some different varieties of sweet corn here. Tell me a little bit about what we're looking at.
Yeah, so commercially we have over 100 different varieties. We're not going to look at all 130 today.
Yes.
So these are a few of our reserve eating quality. So that's our best eating quality, the most tender, sweetest, best flavor. Probably varieties that if you go to a farmer's market or a roadside market here in central Illinois, you might be able to get these. And we have them in 3 different colors, so 3 different kernel colors. This one's bicolor, probably what most folks are used to. In the US, it's 75% yellow kernels, 25% white. But we do also have varieties in 2 different colors, so white as well, yellow as well, and white. And you might ask, why isn't this 100% white? White is recessive, so if you don't grow it in isolation, any neighboring or foreign pollen is what shows up as the yellow.
So when you are looking at your corn and your different varieties, how do you judge, okay, this one's gonna be a good one, this one, people are gonna love this one? How do you determine that?
It's a process, and so we have key traits that we like to look for. That could be taste, so we do a lot of bite tests out in the field. It could be appearance, so we like to see nice dark green husk leaves, something that's gonna look good in a supermarket or on a stand. It could be more agronomic, so disease resistance or yield, drought tolerance, things like that.
Okay, now we've mentioned a little bit about the farmers markets, but you've got a global reach here that people may not even understand it happens right here in Tolono.
Yeah, we sell seed in over 60 countries. But most of that development either happens here in Tolono or in our other research station in Wisconsin. So all those products that end up in another country start here.
That is crazy. And then we've got some other things here with the stalks, the leaves of the corn. What are we studying about that?
Yeah, so this is, and some of this work is going on behind us here, is where when we're developing parents, we're selecting for some of those disease resistances that are important in different areas. It may not be important here in central Illinois, but maybe it's important in Hungary or South America. And so
There's that global reach again.
Here's an example of a virus. Of a plant virus. We've all had our fair share of human viruses recently, so plants get sick too. And this is called maize dwarf mosaic virus. You can kind of see the speckling and mottling of that chlorosis, and this can have a devastating impact on the plant. But we actually have some varieties that are resistant to it, so you can see that none of that chlorosis or mottling on this leaf and this variety. So this is an important trait that we try to combine with some of those other important quality traits or yield or other factors.
So it's just kind of trial and error throughout the seasons, yes?
Breeding is a numbers game, yes. So you start with a lot of it, and then you whittle that down over time. And in different trials. Yep.
Okay, back in the day, I spent a few summers detasseling. You actually have quite a few high school students and others helping you out here at Illinois Foundation Seeds. Yeah,
we employ, I think this summer, just a little over 20 high school students, and that's been annual for a long time. So I think that's an interesting piece of our impact in the community. A lot of kids, this is their first job. Some of it viewed as kind of a rite of passage in the Midwest. You're going to either pollinate or detassel. So it's a great way for us to be able to be a part of the community.
Yeah, well, who knew we had such a reach here globally with our sweet corn that I think the Midwest is pretty famous for here. So it's so cool to learn and see that that's happening right here in our own backyard. Thank you so much for having us.
My pleasure.
All right, if you want to learn a little bit more about Illinois Foundation Seeds and what they are doing here in Central Illinois, we'll connect you with them over at ciLiving.tv after today's show, and we do appreciate them sponsoring our segment today.